Is good, everyone out there in social media land? Welcome to our next episode of MNC Hoops, where CJ is not riding solo today. CJ apologized that I couldn't make last episode. Thank you for holding it down. Nick was a no-show as well. At least I called in, but happy to be back here, ready to talk some hoops. Little sad because I know I'm going to take a beating, but you know what? I'm going to keep my hands up and I'm just going to take the punches and let Nick pick at me because I know it's coming. But with that being said, how you guys doing today?
Doing well, man. I can't wait for today, man. This is gonna be a fun show. We got to get to business, man, because last night I will admit I'm not a fan, but I was angry last night. I was ticked.
Oh,
So besides that, we're doing good. We're doing great, and I hope y'all
okay.
had a really good week and everything.
Yeah, I'm doing good. My week went well. A little bittersweet. We got that strike from YouTube.
Oh yeah, come on,
So,
YouTube.
yeah, got the nothing's on the TV today, guys. So don't kill me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, they wouldn't let us stream live to them right now, so we've
yeah,
got to. We're focusing on Twitter and Facebook. So, guys, please go share this on your Twitters when you tune in, when you hear us talking about this on your Facebook. Help us out because right now we're on the naughty list with YouTube, but we'll get it
Wait,
all
so we're
figured out.
so we're not live at all on YouTube?
Not on YouTube. We're
we
not.
get our streaming
Dang.
access back tomorrow. So we got a little
Okay.
week. We got it was the whole week. So I actually sent out an email to the NBA, not to the NBA specifically, but the people that the NBA pay to see, check for when the games are live. I sent an email out to them, so to see if they could, remove our strike, remove our complaint, because again, listen, we're purposely trying to stream the game.
You're
Just
right.
happened to be on while we were doing the show, so send them an email. So see if they respond and get that strike taken away. I mean, it's not like we're out here just trying to maliciously illegally stream games.
Right.
So
And for everyone that's tuning in, watching this, what we're talking about, CJ usually has the game going on behind him there. And before you've had our own shows going on behind on YouTube. And it's hard to make out really what's on your TV that good. So,
it's because I was solo, and it's like I was on the bigger screen, so I guess
is that the episode? Okay.
Yeah, so you could see it. You could see it more.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that makes a little more sense, but
right.
still reaching out there. As we say here, gagging at gnats but swallowing camels. But I know you guys probably have never heard anything like that. But we'll carry on. But you know what we did
No
not
comment.
get a strike with? We got a home run with. Do you guys know what we're about to talk about on this here?
What we got?
We're going to get a ticker going here. SeatGeek is now sponsors with MNC Hoops. Yes, that's right. Let me say it again. SeatGeek is now partnering up with us. As you can see right now, CJ's got a ticker going on underneath. You can use promo code MNC Hoops, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase of any tickets on SeatGeek. So we are so excited to help our fans out to be able to gift you a discount. So maybe you can get into this NBA game. Who knows if you're up in New York? You might use SeatGeek, save yourself $20. Go to the concession stands, get you some nachos and cheese, and boom, there's CJ. And you're like, hey, I know this guy. I see him on YouTube. He's at the Knicks game as well. Man, thanks. You saved me $20. Now I can splurge on this nachos and cheese, which has to have chili. I don't care who you are. So we're happy to be able to have this partnership and see how far it goes with us. So anytime you guys are going to go to purchase any kind of tickets, that's concert, that's games, anything like that, use our promo code MNC Hoops, and you'll get $20 off at least your first purchase. So we're excited about this partnership and can't wait to take advantage of it ourselves, really. So I'm going to use it for my first NBA game. I talked to some of my buddies. I am going next year when Miami plays in Charlotte because that's pretty close to us. So
We got to
going
go
to
as
try
a
to get
unit, man. We got to go as a unit.
Hey, I mean, that sounds good to me. Because, I mean, maybe next year because Miami has to play Charlotte twice, maybe, CJ, you'll be down South Carolina. And Nick, how far is that for you?
Probably like 8 hours. Ain't too bad.
8.
Easy money.
Oh, okay. Because honestly, since we had, cannot even think of his name right now, from the five on the floor.
Greg, I got Greg.
Greg, there we go. I was thinking Jordan, man. I knew that wasn't right because when he was on the show, he said he was in South Carolina. So I thought about hitting him up when we go to the game just to see if maybe he wants to hang out a little bit or I don't know, sit together, get us some seats or something like that. So all this networking we have going on, great opportunity. SeatGeek, we appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's our first big sponsor. We kind of again, we love the games. We love going to games. It's not just for basketball either. For baseball, football, hockey, concerts, festivals.
Any event you want to go to.
Any event you want to go to. So again, guys, SeatGeek, thank you for the opportunity and for the supporters of MNC Hoops. Hit that code MNC Hoops for $20 off your first purchase.
Shout out to Michael for the alley oop as well.
You came at me there thinking like, what am I doing too? So I think that made it even more hilarious.
I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna step back, yo.
Didn't he, CJ? Didn't he? And it was perfect timing too.
It was just like it's crazy, bro. He was like, "What are you doing?" And like 2 minutes later,
not even 5 minutes, yo.
Not even 5 minutes. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It was clutch. Very clutch.
Shout out to SeatGeek, man. Definitely appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So, with that too, I love that cup that you're drinking, CJ. Drinking out of. Can you show us again? Hey, with that being said, I don't know if we put this on a slide or anything, but since we're in the naughty list with YouTube, but we want to at least announce that we are now over 100 subscribers. So what that means, we're going to take someone from our top of our 100 subscribers. We're at 101 right now. So I said we throw all 101 in there. And we're going to do a random drawing to – oh, you do have that in. Also, I didn't see that. So we are over 100 subscribers. He's on it. And, I have been pumped for this. I actually think Nick probably was most excited about driving to try to get to this. And when we got closer, I was sitting there thinking, this may not be big to other people, but we have made MNC in less than basically 5 months get to this 100 subscribers. And I think it's a huge milestone for us. I only see us growing as we continue on this. But with that being said, we will do a random drawing and pick us a winner. I don't know if we're ready to do that now, are we?
No, not right now. We're gonna do we're gonna do it throughout the week.
Okay.
3 of us will come together.
We'll just do a quick live,
or we do a generator. We could let's do it next week because next week we get back on YouTube. And
there we go. I like that
sub generator, and they'll just pick somebody randomly out of ourselves, and they'll get a free MNC Hoops cup.
Yes.
But yeah, this is a big milestone for us, man.
And we've got 2 different styles. Here's mine. It's the double-sided MNC on 2 sides. Nick's got the wraparound complete cup just one time. So whenever there we go. You got to get that M. That's most important. Just saying. But once that we get our winner, we will try to contact you and let you know that you won. We'll give you 48 hours to reach out to us. If not, we'll do it again to get someone else because we want you to let us know which style you want, the double-sided or the all-around cup there. And then we'll get that order for you, get your address, and get that sent out. So first merch going out to our top 100 subs on YouTube. So excited for this lucky winner. Dude, I am on fire for this. Like, I am pumped and ready to go. I'm hyped with what we've got going on in such a short time.
Yeah, man, this is when we hit the hundo, definitely a big accomplishment for us. Again, organically too, nothing but
and fast too. Like just 2 months ago, we were at what 26, 27, 2 month span.
Yeah. Definitely 2 months ago, we was definitely under like 40 for sure. I don't know exactly, but it was a great process. I was hitting the shorts. The shorts really helped us.
The shorts are bread and butter, man.
Yeah. The shorts was helping us tremendously. So we thank you guys, everybody that's tuned in, like the shorts, the videos, and then gradually with our videos and our live streams. Now we got YouTube podcasts, a new feature that they added last month. So we're going to use that as well. So yeah, this is organic. As you guys know, around January we made the big switch to move independent. And so this is big for us, man. I'm excited for all of us, and let's keep it moving.
And honestly,
the work don't stop, man. The work don't stop. We still got a lot of work that we got to do, but appreciate everyone for being with us on this journey, man. It's only the beginning.
And what I'm really excited for during this off season is when we get into more debates and some topics, what we can kind of keep going on is we're going to try to see if we can get these call-ins to actually have you call in and discuss with us. We've not tried it yet. We've kind of got an idea how we can work it, but I think it's going to be awesome. Where we'll pop up a generated phone number, let you call into us, and actually have the debate and understand why people may think that LeBron is the greater than Michael Jordan, but they're still going to come up short. But some of these topics, I think it's going to be a lot of fun just to be able to interact with you guys. So excited for everything we've got coming forward, and it's not even the finals yet. So that's what's magnificent about podcasting and MNC, what all it's going to bring you for us. So with that being said, are we ready to jump into our episode, or do we want to do a quick food take?
No food take. Not today. We got to get to business. No food take today.
Let me just ask a question then.
Oh my god.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
We did this like 1,500 other times, yo. Come on.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Why is it not a sandwich?
man.
I mean, like on a surface level. I mean, yeah, you got the all the things that make it look like a sandwich. You could put condiments on it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I just never called it. Just never called it that. I mean, I just think.
I mean, it's one piece of bread cut in half, right?
It's technically. Is it cut? Is it technically cut?
Or yeah, you could. It's already. Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of looks like a Subway bun sandwich, does it not?
It does.
Which is a sandwich.
Yeah, we've had this debate like a year ago, and now we're
Have we?
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. Do you all like chili on your spaghetti?
No. Nah.
Never tried it. Never tried
Okay.
it. So
Well,
I can't say if I don't like it or not.
See, I thought maybe you would have tried it, CJ, because you're a little more northern. With Cincinnati Reds up in that area, they have the whole Skylines chili, and it's basically spaghetti noodles with chili on top of it. I think it's gross, as my wife, thank you, on Facebook has said, yuck. Totally agree. Gold Star is another one of the big sponsors for the Cincinnati Reds, and that's what they do is chili noodles, and it's spaghetti with chili on top. I think it's gross.
Chili noodles?
No. I mean, it's noodles with like even the pasta and everything, and then it has like chili, the meat chili more or less on top, and I think it's gross. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. I'm glad this is great. That was easy. We're one in unison on this, and we're done with that topic. Okay. All right, so let's get into the NBA. What's our first topic, CJ?
First topic, obviously, is it's been a big week. It's been a big week in the NBA. We're going to get to the Nuggets shortly, but Miami Heat was up 3-0. It's pretty. Everyone thought it was done. It was over, and maybe not a sweep, but a gentleman's sweep at least. Boston was a great team, but this team it's just been clicking over the last 3 games, and now it's 3-3 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Forwards, you got Derek White. Then Game 7 tomorrow in Boston. Celtics Heat. We already know the rivalry is etched with so much history over the last decade or so.
Mm-hmm.
This series just adds to it even more, especially with the circumstances. Celtics look to be the first team in NBA history down 0-3 to come back and win a series and advance to the finals. So this is a massive game tomorrow. We're gonna start with our resident Heat fan, man. Michael, what's your thoughts so far on this series? And
hang on a minute, CJ. Hang on a minute. Before the Heat
Nick
fan,
wants to come at me right now.
I want to brace the Heat fan for just one moment, man, because I need to. I got some things on my chest. I got some things on my heart. I got some things on my heart, man. What is Heat culture, man? Because whatever Heat culture is, they're on the brink of having probably the biggest collapse in sports history. I don't know if there's ever been like a team that came out from 0-3 like in sports history. I know that it definitely hasn't happened in basketball, but 3-0 up 3-0. They win game 3 by 26 points, 128-102. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for I think 28 points in game 3 leading up to that loss. Now out of nowhere, this series is going 7. And I'll be real, man. To me, this is just my opinion. I feel like Heat fans are a little too chill right now, too cool because, after game 4, Jimmy Butler going to the podium, singing, acting like everything's all good. and now it's like Heat fans. I see Heat fans on Twitter. Oh, we're all right. We're good. We're good. After game 4, we're good. After game 5, no, we're good. After game 6, no, we're good. No, you're not good. You're not good. You're not good at all. And I ended up writing down some stats. So in the first 3 games,
the first time he's wrote down stats.
In the first 3 games, the Heat averaged 120 points per game. In the last 3 games, they only averaged 99. So that's a 20-point difference. And I know that Gabe Vincent ended up missing game 5. That was definitely a huge loss. But you got to give credit to Boston. Boston, they've been playing more with a sense of urgency. They know that, their season's definitely, or the past few games, their season has been on the line. They ended up having that big second half in game 4. Jason Tatum had 25 points in the second half on 73% shooting. Game 5, they played a really great offensive performance and defensively. And in game 6, man, honestly, I'll be real. I thought Miami was going to close it out last night. I really thought that they were going to close it out last night. And I think you got to look at Jimmy Butler in that one. 5 for 21 shooting in game 6. You have an opportunity to close it out on your home floor. And, I mean, we all know that Jimmy's had a really great playoffs. We're not going to take anything away from what he's been doing. Mm-hmm. But, in that situation, you got to learn. You got to close it out. I mean, I think a lot of people expected Boston to win game 5, especially after momentum, winning game 4, winning that first game. And then, of course, now they're going back home, being able to ride the momentum of game 4, and then of course the crowd and thriving off that energy. But hey, man, it's just the way that I look at it, man, is it's kind of tough to say that that Boston will win the series now, because I mean they have won the last 3 games and they have momentum, and they are 5-1, 6-1 in game 7s in the Tatum Brown era. But it's also, you got to look at it like Miami's already won 2 in Boston. They already won the first 2 games in Boston, so that's why it's so tough. But one thing I will say for Eric Spoelstra, and part of my French, but he has to coach his ass off in game 7. Absolutely. Everybody has to play well. We need bubble Jimmy. We need that game 5 Jimmy against the Lakers that ended up forcing game 6. We need Jimmy against Milwaukee earlier in the playoffs when he had I think like 56. Like, you need that type of performance. Go ahead.
Here's the difference though. And you make great points on everything you said, other than like Boston's going to win this game. That's the worst point that you could say. But here's the thing: after Miami,
I didn't say they were going to win.
You said they're going to win the series because they have the momentum. Trust me, I heard you. I was ready to stab your eyeballs out through my screen. But after winning 3 games in a row, I honestly feel like Miami got on coast. They hit cruise control and was just riding fine. We can lose 1 game, no big deal. We go back to Miami, we'll win. Oh no, we lost this one, we're fine. And it's totally what you said. I'm kind of piggybacking there. I agree with what you said. But we're finally back to the point where it's more. I hate to say it because they're NBA players, and I don't know if I 100% agree with what I'm about to say. But it's finally back to being the game on the line. Miami all playoff has been the underdog. Well, when they got up this 3-0, we weren't playing to win. We were playing not to lose. And I really feel like that's a hard way to play. And we're not used to that. We're like, oh, you expected us to lose. Well, we're going to do whatever we can to flat out destroy you and win. Even, we could pick apart the game last night in the last 3 seconds when Jimmy Butler got fouled and it was 2.4 seconds. Then all of a sudden 3 seconds came back on the clock. Crazy, because nobody challenged that I seen. They didn't go and look to see what to do as far as time. It's just 3 seconds was on there. If they kept the right time, and I'm not saying it's the referee's fault, I'm just saying if they kept the right time, or when they stopped it when Butler was fouled on the 3, that putback doesn't count. And we're not having this discussion at all. So it's been a game of inches, a game of seconds even, and it's been a good series. You can actually go back and look. I had said on our show I thought Heat would win in 6. So I'm 1 game off. Miami just was ready at it at the first 3 games, and I think Boston survived the punches, and now they're coming back at us because their back was up against the wall, and it was do or die. Well, now it's back to 0-0, basically, winner take all. You're back into the play-in game to go to the finals. And Butler's not had great games. He's been still a great leader. To say that we have to blame Butler, absolutely not. Butler has been the leader of this team. He's been the horse that everyone's been riding all the way through this. So he's got to have a good game, like solid 4 quarters games. We know that Miami's always going to have that 4th quarter run. Like I told you guys last night, they're going to do like an 24 to 15 run or something like that. I don't know what it was, but they're going to have that 4th quarter urge and surge to where they come back from whatever they're down or explode to push it farther because they're an in-shape team. There's a chance that Tyler Hero may be in this game. And, they have missed him. I don't know how well you flirt with that because he's been out so long. He's rusty. I probably would bring him off the bench if he is available and not play him that much because you don't want to ruin what you already got going.
I'll just be real. I ain't playing him.
I mean, if I'm down, I might throw him in and say, hey, Tyler, it's your time. Like, this is why we have you our number 3. But I am worried because if we lose, we're done. But at the same time, like, we weren't even supposed to be here. So I'm still can be happy for how far we went. But it's the biggest explosion. I agree. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making excuses on that. Like, if we lose 3-0 up and we blow that series, and when I heard somebody say that Spurs was reaching out to Doc Rivers and how not to blow this lead, I was like, we're done. This is it. Why would we even talk about that? But I still got faith in Miami. Bam, I think he only had 11 points last night. So we keep having different guys step up in these last 3 games.
Tell me why Bam is allowing Al Horford to look like an all-defensive first-team candidate, bro. No shade to Horford.
Like I said, we're on cruise control right now, and finally we got our backs up against the wall again, and it's a scrap fight now. Like it's street fight. Let's see how this game goes. I'm excited to be Miami in this winner take all match because and we're both Heat fans. Me and my buddy, we were talking about this. We kind of feel like Miami has the better team all over. It's just Boston has the better superstars. So if we can get our team to actually play well together and actually show up on offense, because like you alluded to, we haven't broke 100 in a couple of games in this. So, I mean, that's not what we usually do in this playoff. So 2 or 3 of our guys get hot together, and we'll put them away.
Yeah, wow. It's been a roller coaster for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not even a fan of either team, but just being a fan of the game, it's
been fun.
It's been insane. It's been insane. I think for the Celtics, 2 things: their defense improved.
Mm-hmm.
After Game 4, they played much better defense. They locked in defensively, really cracking Miami's zone, getting into some mismatches, making the right passes. They cut down the turnovers. That was a big thing for them. Miami did a great job of forcing Boston to turn the ball over, which led to obviously leads to easy baskets and momentum as well. So they cut that out. Tatum has played better. And over the last 3 games, for the majority of the games, Derek White. And I said it before at the start of the topic. I said Derek White, man. Derek White, these last 3 games has been sensational. Last night, the game winner to force Game 7, knocked down some timely threes in the fourth quarter, knocked down some big threes from Game 4 to Game 6. He's been a big-time contribution. Marcus Smart as well, making shots, playing defense. Al Horford, his 3 isn't on, but the defense has been sensational, like what Nick talked about. The job he's done on Bam Adebayo, even the job he did against Joel Embiid, and in certain moments in the semifinal round against the Philadelphia 76ers. So it's crazy.
I want to do this real quick. Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead and finish your segment. Go ahead.
I said people were calling for Joe Mazzulla's job, and of course we know the narrative, the running narrative of breakup Brown and Tatum is always something that is always going to be talked about on the Bird app, and
the Bird app,
and we just see that we just have to stop doing that, man. Look, you don't come back, win 3 in a row, force a Game 7 after being down 0-3 if you're not together, plain and simple. Like you just like this is the epitome of being together, being a team. And they're showing that right now, and they have an opportunity to make history. But it's a lot of pressure on them because now it's back on their home court. You can say the pressure switched back to Boston, and that everyone's expecting them to win now, as opposed to the last 3 games, everyone expected Miami to win. So they kind of flipped now, and Miami, like you said, Miami could be back in that underdog mentality. Look, they're not expecting us to win; they just won 3 in a row. They're back in their home floor. It's all on them now. I'm pretty sure Eric Spoelstra's giving them some type of similar talk to them over these next 48 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So the next 24 hours now. I'm sure he's definitely been a vocal leader, especially right now for sure. But and for Miami, it comes down to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler hasn't been playing well. and throughout these last 3 games. Bam Adebayo hasn't played well throughout these last 3 games. So, and with that, the Heat, the role players for the Heat, Caleb Martin has been sensational. I mean, he's definitely made himself a household name in these playoffs with the shots he's been able to make. He wasn't a guy that's really known for making threes and knocking down shots on the perimeter at a consistent clip, and he's done that at a high level and an efficient level this playoff. So you got to give him a lot of credit. Gabe Vincent, another one, same thing, timely shots, just a baller, just a hooper. I mean, that's what they have. They have a bunch of guys, but ultimately it's going to come down to your stars, especially now with Game 7. I believe Brown and Tate, they're 5-0 in elimination games. So, I mean, if it favors them, I picked the Celtics in 7. Obviously not this way. I thought it'd be more of a back and forth, but you could look at it as a back and forth, really. It's 3-0 to 0-3, 3-0, 3-0. So this is what I expected, man. You know, phenomenal teams, phenomenal rosters. Joe Mazzulla, Celtics fans was calling for his head. This is a rookie head coach. I think people forget that, and he wasn't like the top assistant with Udoka last year. He wasn't sitting in the front; he was sitting in the back. He was like one of the secondary coaches on this team last year. He gets the call, he gets the opportunity to be the head coach of the Boston Celtics, and you know all the pressure that comes with that. And now he's in the Eastern Conference Finals and has the opportunity to make history and put the Celtics back into the finals for consecutive seasons. So I just have to give him a lot of credit. He's a young guy. Absolutely. I think he's 34 years old. So he's, you know, this is great. And again, you see the team, they're playing for him. Everyone, Grant Williams is another big adjustment, a big addition to this series. He's knocked down some big shots. I know he had the little spat with Jimmy. He had a spat with Jimmy. I think that was Game 3.
That's what's changed. Is no one saying anything to Jimmy? They said nobody talked to Jimmy. Nobody make him mad, and they've won 3 because of that.
I mean, yeah, just hoop. Yeah, just don't give him a reason to give him any more reason, to lock in and show out. And Grant Williams knocked down some big shots as a body playing defense. But yeah, so it's been a battle for sure. It's going to come down to the same things for both teams. It's making shots, of course, and knocking down the shot, being consistent from there, minimizing turnovers. And when the fourth quarter comes around, when the game gets close, which star is going to step up between Butler or Tatum? And we're going to find out tomorrow. I can't wait.
Right. We've got a few people here that are watching live real quick. I want you guys to put in the comments who you all think is going to win Game 7. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just going to say one thing that I realized, and I tried to check this morning, because I didn't even realize in Game 6 Kevin Love didn't play. I didn't know if he was
not
hurt.
A minute.
Yeah, like in Game 6, I didn't know if he was hurt or anything. I tried to check this morning. I didn't see anything, so kind of an interesting thing. Let's see if he plays in Game 7. I feel like they're going to need him personally.
I agree. Sure. I've not seen a report of anything. I don't know if he just needed the rest because he is an older player, just maybe needed the day off. Because even looking ahead, it doesn't have him day to day or anything. He was a coach's decision.
It's interesting because honestly, in Game 6, Spo really condensed that rotation. Because Hayward Highsmith had minutes in Game 5, and I think a few other games, and he didn't play at all in Game 6. I think the second unit really consisted of Duncan Robinson, Cody Zeller, and Kyle Lowry. So that's really interesting. I wonder if he's going to go through the same scenario in Game 7, or possibly play a few more bodies. No,
I think that's it. I think it's going to be an 8-man rotation. Obviously, if the Love is there, he'll get some minutes, but we don't know how much minutes because of the injury. You got to ride with your best guys, especially right now. This is it. This could be your season. So I think the Celtics did a great job of getting that switch on Duncan Robinson, making him play a little bit, making him play some defense. That could have potentially been a reason why he missed. He missed 2 big shots last night, wide open threes. The second one, I wasn't a fan of. The first one, I was you set your feet.
Was it the one where he took one dribble?
Right, that was the first one. Right, he took on the right wing. He missed that one, and the second one, I felt like Jimmy had an and one. He hit a 3. I felt like he should have gave it to Jimmy right there, but he was wide open. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA, and he's confident in his shot. You expect to make that. Jimmy almost had everybody almost forget about the game that he had knocking down the three free throws, and then Derek White. Listen, Marcus Smart, a couple of my guys are Celtics fans. It was like they hated the shot, but I'm like, yeah, if it was any slower, maybe White doesn't have enough time to get the tip in. So you got to get it up fast, and
they didn't like that shot just because it was like Poole who shot early in the shot clock or left in the time. But that's exactly what we talked about. That like you shoot early, so you have that chance for that rebound. Like it was perfect on that. Now, I didn't like the position of the shot where he got it at or anything like that, but nobody else was open. Like,
it was a great defense.
But as soon as I was watching it with my wife, and I told her, I said, you're always supposed to watch the inbounder because everyone's worried about who's getting the ball, and everyone forgets the inbounder. And I was saying it because White should have got the pass back to him. He was wide open. But he crashed and was very smart to stay in the play and was right there, not boxed out or anything for the putback.
Yeah, Strus was behind him. Yeah, Strus was behind him. He almost blocked it. He recovered pretty quickly, but it's just, and it was so quick. I thought he didn't get it in time, and then they showed
I didn't either.
It's just great. First off, it's just great focus in that moment, in that time, season on the line.
Because he could have ball watched.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, easily could have ball watched and thought, is it going to go in? Is it not going to go in? That's it. That's our season. Crash the glass. 3 seconds left, and to have the focus and just lightly just throw it off the backboard.
Because he took his hands off too pretty early. It was a
great play. It was a great play.
Turd. Don't do it again.
it was a great play. And,
got to box out, man.
It saved their season. No, but Strus was behind him.
Strus was behind him. He went towards Smart.
I got to go back and see the play.
He went towards Smart to contest the shot, and then but once he saw White crash, he tried to get there. I mean, Strus. Like I said, he has some great recovery speed because he was on Smart, then he went to White in like point something seconds, obviously. So it was a great play. It's been a great series, and I'm just glad it's more competitive than the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
because that was competitive, but obviously Lakers didn't win a game. So now we're seeing 7 games.
Competitive.
It actually was pretty competitive. It wasn't like they got blown out.
4-game sweep.
We're seeing 7 games, and again, this is what I expected. I mean, these teams have seen each other over the last 4 years multiple times in this moment. So I expected nothing less. And again, this is the Celtics' 3rd head coach in 4 years. Like what? It's just crazy. 2 rookie head coaches. So it's. For people talking about break them up, and it's just crazy to me. As a Knicks fan, I would dream of this, having this type of success in the last 7 years that they've had. This is crazy
because they're not even 30 yet, right?
No, none of them are under 27. Both of them under 27.
I'm saying the oldest guy on the team is probably Horford.
Yeah,
for the duo.
Yeah,
for the duo. Okay.
Yeah. I think Tatum's 25 and Brown's 26. So
maybe Brown will learn to dribble soon, and I mean they'll be unstoppable.
I mean, Brown is averaging like 20-some points a game in the series.
That's a flaw. You got to work on that. He definitely has to continue to improve in that category. But he's still an All-NBA player. So.
He was losing the rock a few times in that game. I'll admit he was losing the rock.
He's not Kyrie, but he has other things that he's great at.
But yet Nick had to send me a text. Oh man. Look at Brown's handling skills here. I'm like, the fact that you have to make a comment on it tells me that you know now that it's not that great.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. The lane was wide open for Derek White. I didn't even realize that it was wide open for him to get that off, get that tip.
He was open for a pass back too. That's what I was afraid of because you always try to not let the ball get in. Like the guy who's on the ball, it's like defend, watch his eyes, and kind of play the passing lane there. Well, when he passed it to Smart, away from him a little bit, he stepped right in at that 3-point line and had a wide open pass back, like a given step in go, I guess. I don't know. But
Smart had to get it because I think Butler and Bam were on Brown and Tatum respectively. Yeah. So they were going to lock that up and stop anything in terms of them having a clean, easy look. So and that's their offense. It's not just of course those are the 2 top guys, but we've seen Smart take the ball to the rack. Sometimes some people, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Celtic fans and pretty sure casual fans too that haven't seen the Celtics throughout the majority of the season. They're like, why is he taking that shot? Why is he going to the rack? Because they trust him to do those things.
Yeah.
He's improved as a player. Is he Rondo in terms of playmaking? No. But they have a collection of guys that all make the right plays.
Yeah.
Their ability to everyone can set a screen for each other to create mismatches. That's what makes their offense so difficult to stop. It's not just Williams or Horford setting the screen. It's White. It's smart.
It's White. It's smart. Yeah.
Right. So they create those mismatches for Brown and Tatum and for all those other guys. Brogdon also set screens. That's what makes them so dangerous. They can cut. They can do a multitude of things. And if the three is on, it's curtains. So that's what we've seen over these last 3 games. And wow, here we are. Game 7 tomorrow. It's going to be definitely a classic.
So, who you got winning, CJ?
I picked the Celtics in 7. So I'm sticking with that. Again, weird way to get here, but I'm gonna stick with my pick, man. And it just again, they're also great in the elimination games too. You look at how they played in Game 7 against the Sixers. Tatum had a 51-point game.
Yeah.
Will he have a game like that? I don't know. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I think obviously the Heat are gonna play well. I think it's gonna be another great game. I don't think it will go down I don't think it'll be as close as we saw last night, but it's definitely going to be a close game for sure because of what's at stake and how well each team know each other. So I'm sticking with Boston, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be Celtics and the Nuggets in the NBA Finals. It's going to be either way. Either way, it's a great series.
Oh yeah. Nick, who you got? Game 7, winner take all.
Oh my God. I didn't think we get here. I'll just be real. But I did originally pick Boston to win the series in 7. So I'm kind of conflicted as if should I stick with my original pick before the series started, or should I believe that Miami's not going to collapse because it's kind of looking like that. And CJ made great points, and I even said it earlier. Like they're great in elimination games. They're undefeated even in this postseason when they lose their 3rd game of a series. So I'm gonna have to ride with Boston. I'm gonna have to ride with Boston, man. It hurts, man. Because I was really locked in on saying, man, like Jimmy has played so well. Like it would be great to see him get a ring, and so he could solidify himself in Miami Heat history. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna happen, man. I don't know.
Miami's winning by 12. Just go ahead.
12.
The score's gonna be 113-99. Right there it is.
113-99. Okay. Hey, listen. Again, I wouldn't be surprised.
Wait.
They got 2 already in Boston.
111.99. That's 12, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Boston. Surprisingly, they're not great at home. They're a better road team. But like Nick and I just talked about, their record in elimination games have been pretty good, and a few of those games, I think one of those games were in Boston. So, wow, this is if Miami loses, it looks bad for a season that was so special. 8 seed had to go through the play-in, got blasted by the Hawks. Then they
lost the first round of the play-in.
Right, exactly. Got blasted by the Hawks. Then lost to and then beat the Bulls to advance. Beat the Raptors to advance, and what they did to the number 1 seed in the Bucks, beat the Knicks in 6, and as we know what it was for the first 3 games for Miami. So it looks bad.
Hopefully,
it looks bad.
Hopefully,
it look bad, man.
Boston loses, and since they're at home, they can sweep out the locker rooms and be ready to go home. And speaking of sweeps, we can go ahead and move on over to the West about another team that was swept as well. The Nuggets, of course, swept the Lakers. It seems like it's been 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was just last Monday.
But does it seem like too much time has went by for the Nuggets to be rusty on this?
I think they're fine.
So I'll just say this. Again, I went on record. I said Bron AD best duo in the NBA, and they folded. It's just no other way to put it. To get swept.
Did they really fold, or did one guy fold? Because one guy showed up in the elimination game. I can say.
Listen, when you lose 4 in a row, and you can't win one game on your home floor. They were undefeated at home throughout the majority of the playoffs, until the Western Conference Finals. AD, yeah, he's hot and cold, hit or miss. Every other game, Davis. He got a bunch of nicknames, but Jokic and Jamal Murray outplayed them, plain and simple. I mean, there's no other way. There's no other way to put it, bro. They simply outplayed them. Jokic, best player in basketball. Best player in basketball. I've been on record, on Spaces, on the streams.
So where do you rank him?
I gotta put him number one. One right now, man.
Okay.
He's able to win the championship. It just solidifies it. But the way he's played throughout this entire playoffs, not even just the Western Conference Finals, throughout the entire playoffs, has been sensational. We asked the question, how far can they go once he got his full roster? Because we know Murray was out for those last 2 years with the ACL. How was he going to play when he got his team back? And here we are, NBA Finals. So he's showing his greatness. He's showing his leadership. He's a low maintenance guy. Doesn't have social media, so he's not going to captivate the mainstream media. He's not someone that people can write articles about where it's negative narratives and things like that. He's not someone that these writers could make money off of on just BS articles. So when these people in the media, they say they're not interesting, that's what they mean. They can't come up with trash narratives that try to just help themselves for their platform. But what the media should do is learn more about the game of basketball, right, and appreciate what he's done over these last 7 seasons. He's just been phenomenal, man. And Jamal Murray was excellent. He was excellent in the Western Conference Finals. His play, his efficiency, timely shots when it looked like the Lakers had some momentum. He was one of those guys. Bruce Brown, KCP. Everyone on the team hit some timely shots for the Denver Nuggets. Them as a collective. Aaron Gordon was big in Game 4. KCP had some big games. Bruce Brown off the bench, big time, high IQ basketball player. I always felt like he had high IQ, even when I watched him play on the Pistons before he went to Brooklyn. He was making some big plays. It just and that's a lot of the players in the NBA. They're on these teams that aren't very good, but that doesn't mean they're not good. And when they get an opportunity to showcase their skills, showcase their talent, we see examples of that, like a Bruce Brown. He's been absolutely sensational for the Nuggets. He's exactly what they needed. Swiss Army knife, can guard 1 through 4. He was aggressive going to the basket, really exploiting the trash Lakers transition defense. That was something that they struggled with throughout the entire playoffs. He would get the ball, go right to the rack. So he was great. KCP was great. They're a well-oiled machine, man, led by their 2 top guys and Jokic and Murray. Michael Malone, another one who a lot of people thought he could have been on a hot seat. I had some questions. It was a couple years ago. He definitely it was those narratives were circulating for sure for Michael Malone, but he's done a great job of getting his team together, and they're in the NBA Finals. Rust, maybe, but you could also look at it as, again, probably you could say rust, but I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters, man. Either way, they have home court advantage, and they've been undefeated at home. So until somebody steps up and goes into Denver with that high altitude and gets that W, I'm taking them to obviously to win Game 1, and just the way they play it, man. They've been great all season. Again, they don't have a super popular guy that everybody can talk about on their favorite debate show on a daily basis. But when it comes to basketball, being dominant at your craft, there hasn't been a better team for them, and that's why they're in the finals. So credit to them. And then for the Lakers, like I said, Brian AD, they just they couldn't step up. They didn't do enough. Austin Reeves, I think he had a really good series. He's going to make himself a lot of money. And on the flip side, I think D'Angelo Russell, struggled. Didn't have a great series at all, where it looked like he was probably going to make north of $100 million. That could still be a possibility depending on the team he goes to, but I don't think it'll be with the Lakers. And he had a bad series, and at the worst time for the Lakers and for Russell. Rui Hachimura, he's going to make himself a lot of money, no doubt about it. Guarding Jokic, making it tough at times, knocking down big shots, playing defense. he's gonna get a bag for sure. So there was they were a good team. They made the moves at the trade deadline. They got to the Western Conference Finals. A lot of people didn't even think they'd get to the playoffs because of the injuries and things like that, and what the roster looked like on day one of the season. So there was some good things to be I guess happy about, but for Laker fans, all they're expecting is championships, and they didn't get it done, and so it's back to the drawing board for them. The one thing I didn't like was I didn't like LeBron flirting with retirement right after getting packed up. I wasn't a fan of that. I was not a fan of that. I was not a fan of that because I felt like it took away from what the Nuggets did. The Nuggets dominated them on defense, offense, everything.
Yep.
Knocking down shots. So it kind of shifted. It kind of shifted the conversation to, is LeBron going to retire? Is he going to do, as opposed to putting all the spotlight on the team that packed them up in the Denver Nuggets. I wasn't a fan. I know I saw some mixed emotions about that. I didn't like it. Personally, I feel like you're not going to retire. This is not going to be your last season. This is not going to be the last game you're going to play. Getting swept. You being LeBron, everybody's a fan. Everybody loves you. You're going to have your farewell world tour, like Kobe had, and so for you to even bring it up was weird to me. So I wasn't a fan of that. I feel like he gave the Nuggets their respect, but just on the backside of the press conference, I didn't like, and I think we need to be focused more on what the Denver Nuggets did. They've been great all year, and they deserve to be in the NBA Finals, plain and simple.
What you got, Nick?
Oh man. First of all, I definitely agree with that. LeBron definitely trying to control the narrative with that one. It just reminds me too, man, because people remember back 2018 when the Warriors swept the Cavs and LeBron comes out of nowhere to the podium with a cast on his hand, and it was like apparently he punched the wall after game one, and it was like, yo, like what are we doing here? But give credit to Denver. Denver was clearly the better team, throughout the entire series. I think when you talk about the best duos in basketball, you definitely gotta mention Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. And I'll read some numbers for you. Nikola Jokic averaged 27 points, 14 and a half rebounds, and nearly 12 assists as a center. Like, and look, I mean, I know that I've said that I know that I've said that Embiid is the best offensive big in the NBA, which I still think is true, but you can't take none away from what Jokic is doing, man. He's the best overall center of basketball. I don't think that's a debate whatsoever. Then Jamal Murray averaged 32.7 points on 52, 40, 95 splits. It's incredible. And the one thing that kind of concerned me with the Lakers is, Denver was a team, on most possessions they got on a transition and ran. And the Lakers could never recover with the transition defense, whether it was Jokic running the break, Jamal Murray running the break, Aaron Gordon running the break, Michael Porter Jr., Bruce Brown, whoever it was always easy transition buckets, whether it was to the basket or whether it was a corner shooter, whoever it was. And the Lakers just could never recover with that. And that even concerned me with the Lakers a little bit when they were going up against Memphis, because Memphis is a pretty decent transition team. Luckily, they were able to get through that series. But I think the Lakers all year were never really a good transition defense team, and that's what we saw throughout this 4-game sweep. So, just definitely give credit to the Nuggets for definitely pushing the pace and and getting good quality shots. But also another thing that kind of gets me though, because I feel like the Lakers should have at least won 2 of these games. I feel like they should have won game 2,
or
and
one.
I feel like they should have won game 4, because game 2 they were up for most of that contest. Jamal Murray couldn't buy a shot through the first 3 quarters. Then out of nowhere, he goes crazy. I think he scored like at least 21 points in the fourth quarter, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Then in game 4, LeBron gets 31 at halftime, and they're up 15, going into the locker room, and somehow, some way, they blow that lead. But it's like, clearly the Nuggets were a better team, and it's like I don't want to give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt, but even earlier today, I just started thinking about the difference between this Laker team and then the 2020 team. Obviously there was more size with that Laker team. They had JaVale McGee, they had Dwight Howard, so that took a lot of pressure off of AD having to primarily defend Jokic. So I guess maybe in this series, and I'm not trying to give AD any excuses, for why he didn't really play his best, but I guess you could say, having to defend Jokic on that end of the floor did take a lot of energy, which I'm pretty sure that it did. But either way it is, as AD, you got to step up to that challenge. And you got to understand, like, what's at stake here. That's just my opinion. But kudos to the Nuggets. They're on their way to the finals. This is the Nuggets' first finals in franchise history. And let's see if they can get the job done.
Absolutely. So I think, well, I'm not going to get too far ahead. As far as the sweep, we've talked about it. The Nuggets are more deserving of anything going on. I think as far as the conversation, like what you all were saying too, the Lakers just didn't have enough energy, it seemed like. But this next headline that we got here, moving forward, what do we think the Lakers are going to do to improve with this roster? I know CJ's got this pulled up here, and I'm not going to click it because when I click it, you click it, and I click it. So could Kyrie possibly or Trey go to the Lakers during this offseason?
I think you should either one. I think you would rather want Kyrie than Trey. I mean, that's no disrespect to Trey Young. I love Trey Young. I think he's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. I know that's up for debate, but I mean, you look at the camaraderie of what. I mean, look. I mean, when you look at it, Braun and Kyrie, they already have that camaraderie. They already won a championship together. I know that Kyrie's availability can be in question on multiple occasions, but to me, I feel like Kyrie could possibly click with this team. I mean, especially with his ability to play off the ball, especially playing alongside LeBron, he's definitely a more efficient scorer than D'Angelo Russell is. Because if D'Angelo Russell was a more efficient scorer, then he would have never been taken to the bench. So, and look, I mean, it's no shade to Trey Young, but I just feel like Kyrie would be the better fit.
I think Kyrie's definitely the better fit. The report came out, the Mavericks, they're not even trying to hear anything and try to work with Kyrie in terms of a sign and trade. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic in the offseason, man. I'm a fan of Kyrie, fan of his game. I think he's more efficient than Trey Young, for sure. I think, and he has that chemistry. He has the chemistry with LeBron, won a championship with LeBron. And as we see AD, he shows flashes of a 2, sometimes could look like a 1, but he just the inconsistency, man. Like every other game type thing, it was so loud. Like for him to be that inconsistent, it was just throughout the entire playoffs. So yeah, one series, okay, sure, but up until the Western Conference Finals, you just can't do that. You have, and especially when you're going up against Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, who definitely both of those guys answered the call. As Nick read off the stats for the duo, you have to bring it every single night. And we know Kyrie brings it every single night. And as LeBron gets older, and he's going to miss games from this point on, he's not playing 75 games. He's not playing 75 games a season anymore. That's not happening. So you need better players around him to kind of play in and fill in for some of those games, and then come playoff time, he can step up. I know he played with the torn tendon in his foot. We all know he was playing injured the entire time. You don't heal a tendon in 6 weeks or however much time he missed. So we knew it wasn't 100% from the beginning. As soon as the playoffs started, and even when he came back, it was just a matter of rest and not aggravating it even more. So I'm gonna go with Kyrie. I don't know how it's gonna unfold. I don't know what that trade looks like. Of course, we're gonna dive into that as we go into our off-season talks and off-season storylines when that presents itself. But I think number one priority they should be focused on is making sure you keep Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves. I think those should be your top two priorities. They're the younger players. They played well. They have great chemistry with LeBron. They understand when to spot up, when to create their own shot. We've seen Reeves play make. He's had a lot of the playmaking responsibilities for this team at times. So I think getting him an extension is key for sure. You don't want him to leave, and then you have to now find another two-way wing all over again to add for chemistry. Shot all that. Now you have to do that stuff all over again. If you just keep him and make sure he's there, for the foreseeable future. That just helps the team, that helps the franchise. I think he's going to continue to get better as the opportunities for him continue to grow. That's just based on what we've seen so far his first 2 years in the league. I don't expect anything less. Now, sure, we've seen cases, Poole, some other guys that get the bag and they look like completely different players. But I don't think that'll be him. So Reeves, Hachimura, you got Vanderbilt. They picked up the team option for Vanderbilt, so he's there for $4 million. So you don't have to worry about that just yet. And I think they need to get a backup big. Now they have Mo Bamba. He was unfortunately unable to play with the ankle injury that he suffered, throughout the end of around the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He could have played a factor. It's another body. You saw they tried to put Tristan Thompson out there, a guy who was on the NBA Today like 2 months ago, analyzing the game. You saw they had to pick him up because they needed some type of depth at that front court position, especially, AD can't play 48 minutes. So we'll see what happens with the Mo Bamba situation. He's a guy that can space the floor a little bit. I don't want him shooting too many threes, but he can shoot if need be. He could be someone that they could use. Not great in terms of pick and roll defense, but that's a lot of bigs. So it's just a matter of how many minutes he gets for the Lakers if they bring him back. So I think finding a backup big, keeping Hachimura, keeping Reeves, then you could try to see if you could get a Kyrie. I added Trey there because they were talking about Trey too, but I think more importantly, they should be focused on if it presents itself, getting someone like Kyrie. And then from the Maverick side, the team actually has Kyrie. What does that look like? I'm pretty sure Mark Cuban is not just about to let Kyrie just walk to the Lakers. What are they looking for now? They have a lottery pick, so their off season is very interesting as well, and that's something we're definitely going to be talking about in the off season for them because they have a lot of questions. And Luka's not Dirk; he's not staying there for 20 years if it's not winning. If there's not changes over there. So that's an interesting dynamic too. So. Yeah, Kyrie for sure. Kyrie, yeah, you could think about getting Kyrie. It's a possibility, but those other three guys I mentioned definitely are more important at this stage.
Me personally, I guess I need to answer too. Kyrie, I think, is the quick answer just for the camaraderie, the chemistry, what y'all said, and I think that's it. But I almost would like to see if it were to be Trey, Reeves run more of the point with the pick and roll and let Trey be a more two on that. I may be reaching a little bit out there. I just like the way Reeves ran a pick and roll with AD and LeBron quite a bit. Like he was more smooth, more sound, wasn't too crazy, and he could be a facilitator. We've seen him pass the ball really well. So if you can't get Kyrie, maybe he wants to go with the Suns and actually try to win one with KD and Phoenix with that trio of a dynasty. I don't want to say trio. We'll just leave it at that.
Trio, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go trio. I could see Trey coming over and that working out well with Reeves running more of the point on a lot of the sets.
But that's kind of what we said about when they got DeJounte Murray, right? He could be the shooting guard.
That's what we thought.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we thought, and I mean they got packed up in the first round. So I mean it's like damn, it's like they're already trying to break that up after one season. I don't know how much of this is just talk. Right. Or if it's really reality.
It's probably just talk.
I think for Trae Young more so than Kyrie. But
because we know Dallas, when Kyrie came along, something went wrong. Not saying Kyrie is at fault, but I mean,
I wouldn't say something went wrong. I think many people already knew that Kyrie was not going to be there long term.
No, I'm saying in season because they had like a 98% chance to make it to the playoffs, and when they fell off.
Well, they gutted the roster. I mean, when you trade away Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, you gut your roster. I mean, that's what's going to happen. They didn't really have a lot of depth,
and they weren't healthy together either.
Yeah, that was a big thing. They weren't healthy together. Both of you guys, obviously those are the big things. They weren't healthy. Right. They gutted their team to get someone like Kyrie. I didn't really felt like they needed to get Kyrie. I think it was more of a desperate move. We lost Brunson. Brunson's playing well. Oh, let's try to kind of rekindle that same thing. I I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. But it's like, man, if Kyrie leaves, then it's okay. We got Porzingis, Brunson, Kyrie. So what are we saying about Luka? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about for that dynamic? So they got 3 all-stars that leave. Luka Doncic. He's 24 years old. What is that? That's a discussion that'll be talked about for sure. Now, so that's something I'm looking at, man. We kind of talked about the Mavericks a couple months ago, but that's going to be wild. That's going to be wild. As I said, Trae Young, he's not a great defender. He's not a great 3-point shooter. I know a lot of people, they think that because we see the highlights, but he's not a great 3-point shooter.
Not very efficient.
I don't think he shot over 40% of his career so far.
He just shoots in bunches.
He shoots it. You guys can fact check me on that. I don't think he's hit 40. If not, it definitely hasn't been more than 2 seasons.
I'm definitely fact checking you because you call me out all the time.
Go ahead.
I'm checking now as well.
Maybe the 2021 season.
Let me see.
Conference finals, but
no, he hasn't. His career high 3-point shooting was 36%. I'm taking it back 38%. That was 21-22 season.
So again, like, and he's someone that takes a bunch of threes. So that's not a good fit. It's just not a good fit, man. He's not a great defender. We just saw Russell get
too
big.
Small.
Yeah, exactly. We just saw Russell get big. Murray would, destroy him. That's not. Yeah, he would cook him, bro. And it's like, who is he gonna hide? Who is he gonna hide on? Who is that guy? Because now the league is everyone can do everything now. Even if you're a role player, you can do a little bit of everything. So you can't just be. It's rare that you just see spot ups now. It's very rare, especially on good teams. You're not gonna see just a spot up. So that's not a good fit at all for Trae Young. I don't see that. I know he was at the game and they tried to, put 2 and 2 together. That's the
he's been in like what? He's been in like 3-4 games.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, you got money. You just want to see LeBron and Jokic. And, okay, I'd be there too if I had the bread. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean he wants to go be a Laker. So, yeah.
So let's move back over to the East, as we know the Bucks, who got bounced pretty easy against the Miami Heat and what we didn't expect to happen, fired their coach very quickly, who is 2 years out from winning a ring with them. And now they have made their hire at coach, which I had missed today. So I'm going to go to you, CJ, and let you kind of talk about this because this is news breaking to me, actually.
Yeah, so the Milwaukee Bucks, they hired Adrian Griffin as their next head coach, former assistant coach for the Toronto Raptors. I thought he would get the job for the Raptors.
Right.
But obviously, Masai Ujiri and that front office, they may have other plans with that for their next move. I just thought it made more sense because it looks like they're rebuilding. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to keep Van Vliet and Siakam. That's
who the Lakers should get.
But
going back to the other topic.
But you're going to have to give up Reeves or Hachimura. So it's like,
that's
give
true.
and take. It's that give and take when you do the trades.
You can't give up Reeves.
You cannot. I personally, I don't think you can. He played so well.
Too good.
We'll see what happens with the Raptors and their head coaching search. But the Bucks, they get Adrian Griffin. Obviously, this is someone that Giannis approved of. They went to Giannis. They asked him, is this a guy? He said yes. So I don't really know. He's been an assistant coach the majority of his coaching career. So we'll see what he implements. We'll see what he changes. A lot of pressure. One, because I personally don't think Giannis is going to retire in Milwaukee, but he may leave and come back. But I don't think he's going to be there for 10 years consecutively. Another 10 years, I should say. I don't see that happening. So this is a big move. I know that he got he had the stamp of approval. This is a big move for this team, man. They were just the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They get rid of Budenholzer, and now they bring in Adrian Griffin. We've seen rookie head coaches have success. So Darvin Ham go to the Western Conference Finals. You see Joe Mazzulla in the Eastern Conference Finals potentially go to the NBA Finals like his predecessor in Ime Udoka, who was a rookie head coach. So the rookie head coaches thing is kind of hitting right now in the NBA, especially if you're a rookie head coach on a good team and got some good players. So
just a quick background for him as an assistant coach. He's been an assistant coach since 2008. 2008-2009, he was the assistant coach in Milwaukee for 2 years. Then he was in Chicago as an assistant for 5 season. Orlando 1 season. And 2016-17, he was in Oklahoma for 2 years, and then the rest of the time he's been in Toronto. So, I mean, he's been an assistant coach for 15 years. So, I mean,
it's good. And again, I'm a fan of it because I've said this a bunch of times on the show. I don't like the same recycled same coaches.
I don't either. I think
I just
weird.
don't like it, man. You got to give some guys other opportunities to be great and let them, make their own history. So he got it. He got his shot. Like you said, he did his time. 15 years as an assistant coach.
And this is a great opportunity. Like, if you can get Giannis as your first-year coach, plus Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton,
Brook Lopez, you got 3 all defense defensive players on your starting 5.
I'll take that job. Yeah, for sure.
No doubt, and it's a team I'm sure has a chip on their shoulder, 1,000%.
Oh, definitely.
So it's fresh, it's new. But with that comes a lot of expectations because of the team, like we just talked about. So, what's your guys' thoughts on this?
I like it. It's a new, fresh start for Milwaukee. I mean, it's like Michael mentioned earlier. Getting rid of Coach Bud, who did win a championship with the team about 2 years ago. So, I mean, like, at the end of the day, you always got to take your franchise star's vord. And if Giannis vouched for him, that I think is a no-brainer to me. His resume is up there. He won a championship as an assistant coach with Toronto under Nick Nurse. So I'm sure a lot of what Nurse did in Toronto, he's going to take with him to Milwaukee. So, I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for him for sure. He's dealt a wonderful hand in poker, if you will. Just all he has as far as the weapons he's got on that team now. He does look like he's kind of more of a defensive-minded coach, even with Chicago with Tibbs and everything with there as well. So I think this will go well for what this team is already designed to do. I hope he gets Giannis a jump shot more involved with that and works with him on there. I think it's a great opportunity for him. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. This team is so works well together. I don't think it matters who the guy is as long as they believe in him and they're ready to go on the same page with that. I think it's going to be gold for anyone. I think Bud was very close to being fired before they won the championship or the finals. So I'm not surprised that Bud was fired, especially the way that it went out. I hate that he's just like 2 years away from winning a ring that he's fired. But no, I think Griffin's going to have a great opportunity to shine in this trend of rookie coaches.
Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna transition now. This was last week, but obviously, all 3 of us were not on the show, so we're gonna talk about the lottery and
the lotto.
Victor Wembanyama, Spurs win the number 1 pick in the draft. We'll start with Michael.
I'm glad you started me because I want to. Because I'm torn. I'm going to be honest. It's been Wemby all season long about this first pick. And he's been dominant, 7'4", can dribble good enough to be a threat, can shoot good enough to be a threat, and can play defense and is the threat. I'm not even going to say that can be just his height and everything. He's great. But then why I'm torn is because I like to collect cards. I'm sitting here thinking, man, I can't wait to try to get a Victor card. If it's rookie, it's going to be worth thousands by the end of his career for sure. But then at the same time, I'm seeing some of these plays, like one of my favorite players, Chris Lofton Jr. Or I'm sorry, yeah,
Kenneth Lofton.
Yeah, Kenneth, not Jr. His highlight when he was in, I think, high school, the USA, the team there, like he just bodied him, like, played more physical. He's probably shoulders taller than Lofton, but yet Lofton had the size and the mentality of what to do with his trickery on the shot and put him where he wanted to and scored on him. And then we're seeing some of this other highlights of where Victor's been playing, where guys who have big size can just bully him around. And it makes me a bit nervous. That's why I say I'm torn. So it's I don't want to say that already he's not going to be good. I'm not saying that. But there are some doubt of his physicality can match up. Now, how old is he? Like 18, 19? Like
19.
he's young, 19. So obviously his body's not done growing. Like he's going to get the thickness of muscle mass and everything on him. He may even grow taller of the 7'5" or 7'4" that he is now.
I hope not.
I agree because it's the taller they get, that's harder for them to move. We know that the knees and everything.
We've seen it. Yeah, Yao Ming with his career, all the injuries.
New Bowl, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, even Zion, but it's when I go in there. So I'm fully committed into trying to get a card or two of him if I can find a deal. But at the same time, if I'm the Spurs, I'm taking him number one because you can't not take him. But at the same time, I'm nervous about him being a career flop by the end of this because we've put him so high. Well, let me back up before I get too crazy on that or get bashed on this. We've put him so high already of what kind of pedestal that he's going to be that it's going to be hard for him to reach that capacity. And I guess maybe that's where I'm like, we probably should have just said, hey, this guy's got great talent, has great potential, but let's not put the ceiling so high up there because they're saying he's the greatest since LeBron was a prospect. And that's tough. So is he going to be a generational player? He can be. Those are the prospects part of it. But I don't know. Granted, he's a definite number one, but I'm just as far as a career as a whole, I've got to see more. I've got to see some body mass be put onto him, some more muscles, and let's see how he can bang with some of the big guys down low.
It's fair. Nick, what's your thoughts?
It's a fair argument. Definitely a fair argument.
Yeah,
I keep dropping things. Jesus Christ. But
quit playing on Twitter when we're live.
It's not Twitter, man. Shout out to Twitter. Shout out to the Bird app. But
to the Bird app. That was great, by the way. I've never heard that.
Back to Wemby, man. Yeah, I mean, you definitely made some fair points. I mean, like you can even say it about even Chet Holmgren last year. You know, who came into the NBA. You know, a little, or I would say undersized, but like a little underweight. And then of course we all know what happened in the Crawford League or whatever. So
pickup game.
Yeah, pickup games, crazy. But I mean, there's always immense pressure, when you have that type of skill set and you're that type of caliber player. Victor Wembanyama is a 3-level scorer. Can score off the dribble, can get to the basket. Can space the floor. So there's always going to be that pressure, especially when we've never seen like a guy 7'4" that's ever done this before. So people are going to rave about that. I'm not going to call him a bust or anything. I'm not going to say, oh man, I'm not going to watch every time he fails, but. Look, there could be a chance he doesn't, become the guy that we expect him to be. That doesn't mean that he can't have a great career. I'm not going to put that on him. But, with the Spurs having the number one pick, and being under Greg Popovich, who has a history of talented bigs, Tim Duncan, obviously, David Robinson, that's what people are expecting is that type of development. Watching the growth of Tim Duncan, being able to be a 4-time champion, a former MVP. So. Obviously, he's going to a good organization. If this was like Charlotte or whoever, then there might be some concerns. But I feel like he'll be fine in San Antonio. So that's why I'm still kind of really high on Wemby. But yeah, Michael made some really good arguments, or some really good points. So we'll just see how his career goes.
Yeah. So he right now he's averaging 21-10, 3 blocks on 56-82. 27% from the 3-point line. So when I see that, right, no threes, should not be shooting any threes at all unless you're completely wide open. And which, again, you're going up against a big. More times than not, bigs are not going to step up. They're going to drop. They're just accustomed to doing that. They've been doing that their whole life. So he's going to get open shots from 3. They're going to be there. Doesn't mean you should take it. If they're going to sag off like that, take that space and go in the post and use your body. What I've seen is as of late in some of his highlights, He's playing more in the post, using his footwork. He's a special defensive player. The shot blocking, averaging 3 blocks a game. That's different.
Amos Lawson.
Nick said, "Hey, Miss Lawson."
That's
Well, she brought me a
man.
snack. Look here.
Oh, look at that. Whoa, what's that?
That is some potato skins.
Potato skins? Okay, I see.
I'll bring it a little bit closer for you. Yes, sir.
You're not getting blessed. Heard that.
Be careful, Michael. We might get a strike for that too.
Oh.
I don't think so. I think we're good. We're good with that one. So yeah, the defensive IQ is there in terms of the shot blocking and his ability to alter shots. He's light on his feet. He's very quick. He's not one of these slow-footed big guys that's kind of has their feet stuck in the mud. I think he's good there. I just want to see him be more aggressive, continue to be more aggressive and continue to grow. Obviously, putting on weight is the big factor. That's what he needs to do. He needs to put on some weight. He went to the perfect team. I mean, you look at most guys in their situation. Look at LeBron. LeBron went to the Cavs. The Cavs are terrible. The Cavs are terrible. They didn't have great players around him, and it's not necessarily to say they have great players around Wembanyama right now. They have some good young guys who can be good. I like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Trey Jones. Those are good players. Shohan from Baylor, good player. We'll see how they play. We'll see if he's able to elevate their game as being lead guy. So we'll see if the intangibles are there. That's another thing that you can't really judge right now because no one's really following the league that he's in. So we can't really judge the intangibles. Is he a great leader? Is he a great guy in the locker room? Those are things that we'll learn as time goes on. For you to go to a team where the head coach has coached 2 of the best big men that we've ever seen, David Robinson for one, and then of course Tim Duncan, one of the greatest players of all time, in my top 10 easily. Really, I mean, some people's top 5. I mean, he's one of the most accomplished players ever, greatest power forward ever, no doubt about it. And for them to be willing to mentor him, saw the report of Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker. I'm pretty sure Parker's already had a relationship with him because of the French ties.
Right, yeah.
But they're willing to mentor him and help him along the way. That's a blessing, man. To have a contact like Tim Duncan at all times. Say, can you get in the gym? Teach me this, footwork, post moves, whatever you need. I'm here. You're not getting that if you go to the Hornets. It's not happening. It's not happening. So he should be very grateful. I'm sure he's very grateful, man. This is the perfect situation for him. You get a Hall of Fame head coach. You got Hall of Fame players willing to help you out along the way, so you don't feel like you're alone in this, because we know all the hype, we know everything that's being talked about in regards to the media. So it's I'm happy for him. I think he's going to play well. I like his game. The thing that I like to see from a big guy is, do they have a mean streak? Are they just Ayton, or is it Jokic? Is it Embiid? Is it can they change the game in other ways? If their shot is not on, can they make big time plays, make an impact that way? I like the double digits and rebounding too. So he's not just a guy that's just solely being a scorer. He could crash the glass as well, and I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to have a great rookie season. I think Pop is going to put him in the right position to succeed. Pop is not going to make him a stretch 5. He's going to have him play more in the post. I think honestly, if I'm him, I'm watching Jokic. Just gets to it, gets the ball, 1 or 2 moves, 0 wasted movements. I get the ball, get to my spots, it's up. Simple. And then if they collapse, then I make the right read to a shooter. And we know Pop is one of the greatest X's and O's guys in terms of schematics we've ever seen. So I'm happy for him. Went to a perfect situation in San Antonio. Not a lot of it's a small market city, so there's not a lot of distractions. you can say like a Miami or LA or things like that. And so I'm happy for him, man. And I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to do well in the NBA. Will he be the greatest? Do he retire as a top 10 player? Well, we don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and make a claim like that, and I haven't seen him play 1 second in the NBA. But if he continues to dominate, continues to grow, get stronger, get better, go into a tough conference in the West. So it's just no. And obviously, both conferences have been highly competitive over the last 5 years, but the West is. I mean, you see in Jokic a couple times a season. You see in Shea. You're going to see Chet. That's going to be a big match. I can't wait for that game. Chet versus Victor. It's a big game. Zion, he gets back, the job, when he gets it together, the Kings, Warriors, AD, he's going to be in the gauntlet right away. So we're going to see rather quickly, what he's made of, and then obviously that's the beauty of this game, and I'm excited. I'm excited for him, man.
I just got one question real quick.
Yeah,
you said mimic or watch Jokic. What about? Because when I thought when you were kind of going there, I was thinking more Giannis.
I was honestly thinking that too. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of thinking that.
He has. Have you guys seen him play a lot? Have you guys seen him play?
I'll be real. The only full game I saw was when they played Scoot in the G League Ignite. I will admit that. Okay, so what you thought when you saw that one? I mean, my thoughts on because that game was around November, December. I mean, at least from what I saw, I mean, one thing that I will say, definitely doesn't have the strength of Giannis. But then again, Giannis came into the league, he was relatively skinny. Mm-hmm. So he definitely had to put on muscle. But I guess you could say he doesn't really have the speed of Giannis. So I guess you could say that could be a reason why. But I don't know. It's I can see what you mean, as far as, playing like Jokic, he could play with he could play in the post, he could play with his back to the basket, he can pass, he can space the floor. So I could definitely see that. But to me, is if when he does go to the Spurs, me personally, I want Pop to utilize all of his potential. I don't want him to just be more of a post player. I want him to, be able to play all around, all around the court offensively. So that's just my thing when it comes to him. So
yeah.
I feel like Pop should not just minimize his game as far as being a post player just because that worked for David Robinson, that worked for Tim Duncan. I feel like when you have a guy of that caliber, you got to be able to maximize him, especially on the offensive end.
No, I think he will. I don't think he's just going to limit him to being I'm just saying I think it's better for him to start out like that now, from the post, because he's already taller than everybody, and he's like right. 5-6 inches taller than Giannis. Giannis is 6'11". So Giannis is generational athlete, and they're calling him a generational athlete. So I just think I think they just have different styles. I think we can see him play like Giannis. He has to improve his handle for sure, but he has a better jump shot than Giannis already. So I think there's some things that he could definitely take from Giannis's game where he could flourish. But man, if I'm him, I'm hitting up Tim Duncan all the time. It's bro.
Once he lands in San Antonio.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's not there yet.
Tim's picking him up from the airplane.
Yeah, honestly, as soon as the Spurs got the number 1 pick, I'm can I get the contact? Because that's who I'm training with for the rest of my career, bro. I mean, because it's gonna be a lot of pressure for sure, because he's the most highly touted prospect since Tim Duncan for that franchise. But again, he's willing to help. So it's man, and I honestly think a lot of young players and the older generation, I feel like it's really a disconnect. And I don't think there isn't a lot of helping from both generations. I don't think you see a lot of older guys helping younger guys like that. Maybe like how we used to see it in the 2000s and the 2010s.
The older guys want to see them fail because they're like, yeah, we were better than you.
Yeah, and and right, yeah. I don't, and on the reverse side, it's the same thing. They say, it's we're better than the last gen. You guys played with plumbers. It's the same thing. So I think it's at least publicly, it's been more hate from that standpoint.
Right.
But yeah, man, bro, because look at I was watching Tim Duncan's highlights, bro. Especially, it's just because he never talked, right? He was never this big popular guy, but
he was skilled. He did in the finals, bro. Understand.
Well, he did in the finals,
Mr.
man.
Fundamentals.
The 2005 finals.
Not to mention, you're going up against Rasheed Wallace. Ben Wallace was a multiple defensive player of the year candidate. Come on, man.
20 games with 5 blocks, 5 assists.
Didn't he get like a quadruple double against the Nets too 1 year? I think he something like that.
Maybe. I know David Robinson had a quad dub, but yeah, man, it's just that's who I'm contacting right away, bro. Right away, off rip. And I said, if he has a mean streak, he's going to be successful because you have to have that as a big. You just can't be like one of these. Oh, okay. He drove by me. Cool, got it. But so for him to play well defensively, that shows me that he's like, okay, you're not getting this shot. I'm sending this. For him to average 3 blocks tells me, yeah, he has that mean streak. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see him play. I can't wait because a lot of people they're gonna come for him, bro. They're gonna try him. They're gonna try to put him on a poster. Everybody's gonna try to put him on a poster. They don't care. Oh, you the number one. You the best prospects in 2. Yep. I'm gonna make you into a highlight. I'm trying to get you on TikTok and then IG. So you better be ready to go, man. This is not no disrespect to the league that he's in now, but it's levels. Levels. So we'll see what happens.
San Antonio is such a class franchise, Like they're just so class.
They really are.
It's like it's no better team for him for with all the hype and everything. There's just not a better team he could have went to, bro. Seriously, like if he goes to the Hornets or the Trailblazers, it's different. It's just different, man.
They're just franchises with no direction. Like I feel like
maybe the Rockets would probably be the other. He could hit up Olajuwon. You know what I mean? But yeah,
that would be nasty, yo. You go get your post game from Hakeem.
Yeah, but even Tim.
Tim's good too.
Tim learned from Hakeem, bro. Hakeem trained him too. So
I don't think Shaq would have trained him.
Shaq. What'd you say?
I was just gonna say if he went like to LA or somewhere like that or Orlando.
Nah, Shaq's not around the Lakers like that,
bro. I think he'd train him for sure. Shaq. Yeah, I believe so. Based on what I've seen and how how it looks from a public perception, how giving Shaq is. He always giving and hugging kids and all this other stuff.
Yeah, he's generous, but I think when it's someone that could potentially end up saying end up better than Shaq, I think I'm not helping that person.
I don't know. We haven't. It's tough to say because we haven't really seen. I guess you kind of alluding to like the Dwight Howard thing. But I don't know if Dwight ever hit him up and asked him for help. Right. You know what I mean? That's it'd be different if Dwight hit him up and was like, "Yo, can you help me out with my jump hook or something like that?" And he was like,
that beef is crazy.
If you would have said something like that, I'm like, okay, cool. But I think this is a little different. This is a little different, man. So yeah, shout out to him, man. Shout out to the Spurs, bro. Big for both parties involved.
Hey, right. I'll tell you someone who's free right now. Well, maybe you hit up Carmelo Anthony.
Free.
Another guy. Listen. And I said this for the Knicks too. It's like, Randall and all those guys, you want to learn how to get to it with just like 3 dribbles or less.
That's a guy RJ needs to call. Easily. RJ. Easily.
No doubt. This is the guy. Like, this is in terms of scoring, get into it with 3 or less, 3 dribbles or less. This is the guy right here, bro. This is the guy.
I've never really liked Carmelo Anthony as a player too much. But I will say this.
There's something wrong with you, man. You like anybody from 2003? You don't like nobody from 2003, yo.
No. The main reason why I never liked Carmelo Anthony is I like unselfishness. And, I feel like, he was one of the key. That's why I didn't really like Kobe either. So before you say, what do you think about Kobe? I
don't like any stars, yo.
No. Like Kobe. Jason Kidd's my favorite because he was, he set up everyone. Like just the vision that he had. Jason Williams is another one. Rondo. I like people who create for other people with the passing lanes.
What's the thing? Everybody has to play a role. Everybody has to play a role on the team.
And everyone has Melo.
Melo was a scorer.
Well, what I was going to say is Melo was fabulous to be able to get his shot off and get open in the minimum amount of space. Like, he would just jab, 2 little dribbles and not even go anywhere, but you have to respect that he could go somewhere, and then he just pulls up the J in front of your face like, well, Lord, it was so fast I couldn't even stop it. So he's good, don't get me wrong. It's just it wasn't one of my favorite of style play. So even Wembanyama, which kind of who we're talking about, you can consolidating these two. Like, he's small size, but yet he is quick first step. Now he's slow on everything else, and as tall as he is, like Carmelo Anthony worked with his triple threat there a little bit, a couple jabs, hey, get that shot off of one dribble there. You're going to jump over everyone, and if you want to stretch it out just a little bit, I mean, he really would be a good person for Victor as well in this. Of course, I do agree with RJ as far as breaking down and be able to help that guy out as well. But Carmelo Anthony, as far as triple threat, isolation, he don't need much room at all, and he was like knocked down at that and fabulous. Now there was one play that always sticks out in New York when he airballed a shot from like the second hash line at the key, but we won't go into that story. But he's had a great career. That. Oh, I do, because it was hilarious. But anyway, congratulations to Carmelo Anthony and a wonderful career that he did have. When you think of Anthony, do you think of Nuggets or Knicks?
I think of both.
Both, yeah.
Both equally.
Equally? See, I'm more of a Nuggets kind of guy on that. I guess where maybe I'm older with the players that they had there and the run that they had as well. But of course, he had a great career as a Knick as well. But I enjoyed him more as a Nuggets with Fareed. The man, what did they call him?
I don't think he played with Fareed. He played with Chauncey. He played with AI for about a few years.
J.R. Smith.
He didn't play with Fareed? No.
That was later on. That was years with like Ty Lawson. I think Iguodala was on that team as well.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Ty Lawson era. You're right. I apologize. I was wrong on that. But carry on. How do y'all think about his career? Where does it finish?
When you talk about some of the best one-on-one scores to ever play, you got to mention Carmelo Anthony. Michael alluded to it, I'm saying, like him being able to score in like a minimum space. But my thing is, I don't think people realize how big he was and how strong he was, especially when he put that shoulder in you. Because, I mean, I don't know why, but like it just makes me like reflect back on that Western Conference Finals, when he had that matchup with Kobe. And even he was giving Kobe problems, especially, scoring on the post and everything. So Carmelo was super efficient. He was strong. He could score from the mid-range. He could shoot efficiently from the three. He could make his way to the basket. Just an elite 3-level scorer overall. His defense is another topic for another day. But either way it is, you got to respect him as a scorer. In my opinion, I mean, I know how Knicks fans are, but there's been talks about whether the Knicks should retire number 7. Personally, I wouldn't mind it. I know CJ probably might have another opinion, but and I get it. They only got past the first round, I think, like only one time. So I could definitely understand it from that perspective. Then I think after 2013, they didn't even make the playoffs. But then again, he had different guys. Unfortunately, him and Stoudemire, they were never able to really work out. Especially with the injuries and everything. Then there was some years where they had D Rose that didn't really work out either. And then of course Porzingis as well, but. For Melo to really kind of step in, go to their franchise, then kind of like, rejuvenate things and kind of make them like a household name again. I feel like that alone kind of makes him like, should be at least make him like, at least a fan favorite in New York. But great career overall for Melo. Denver, New York, he even came back, played for Portland for a few years. And then of course, ended up playing for the Lakers. That was actually the last team that he was on before he retired. But when you talk about who's like some of the best like one-on-one scores in NBA history, I think you got to mention him.
Definitely, Carmelo Anthony is one of the best scorers ever of all time. The numbers speak for itself. 10-time All-Star, 3-time gold medalist. Just a great player. It's a great player. I think of he got drafted by the Nuggets, and when we think about 15, obviously, for the younger fans, they're going to think about Jokic because Jokic is rocking 15. I think personally, I don't see the issue of retiring 15 twice. Why not? I mean, what's the
can that work?
I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean, listen, Carmelo had a great career. Wearing 15 in Denver, and as we see, Jokic is on his way to a all-time career, rocking the 15. So I mean, listen, it's your team. Whoever the owner is their team. You can be able to do whatever you want to do. I wouldn't see an issue with it. But we'll see what happens down the road.
I don't know. It's like I would kind of feel it, especially like like let's say for instance Jokic, he retires, multiple champion. He's already got the 2 MVPs. Like if his resume is like pretty much there, and they say, hey, we're gonna retire your number and Carmelo number, I would definitely feel the way. I mean, look, no discredit to Melo because we all love Melo. We all know what he did in Denver, but it's like when you compare like the tenures, obviously Melo and then Jokic, Jokic being an MVP now getting his team to the finals. It's like if you, in as much as I love Melo, like if you had to choose one or the other, I feel like you would definitely have to go Jokic in that situation.
I mean, yeah, if they do that, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like we've seen things in the NFL, like we see Drew Pearson, we see Michael Irvin, they go for 88. And again, right now, no one has a problem with that. Drew Pearson gave Michael Irvin the blessing to wear 88, and we saw Michael Irvin give Dez the blessing, and now we see CD Lamb rocking 88. So it's like, I think it's possible. It's possible for that to happen. So we'll see. You can keep the 15 alive, maybe, whatever. But either way, again, one of the best players I've ever seen. Had a great career in Denver. Got to get them to the Western Conference Finals. Left. The thing I like about what he did was, he betted on himself. Yes, the way he got to New York wasn't maybe the best way because it's like we talk about with Kyrie. He kind of got at the rest of the roster for him to get there. I felt like he was going to go there regardless, but there were talks about him teaming up with LeBron and Wade in Miami because that was the original
banana boat.
Yeah, that was the original big three before Bosh. So, but that was a possibility. But he left before those guys became free agents, and he went to New York. He took a chance on the Knicks, the front office. I wish they had the front office now. Back then, he'd be in a much better situation.
They had that man with Phil Jackson, dog.
Yeah, Phil Jackson, Donnie Walsh for a little bit. It just wasn't a multitude of head coaches. Fisher, Woodson was obviously the good years. Rambis is just it was dysfunctional. It was dysfunctional, man. He took a chance on the city, took a chance on the franchise, and they didn't really do enough and they didn't really put a great team around him outside of that 2012-13 year. We talked about Amari wasn't able to stay healthy, so he really didn't have that 1-2 punch like we expected it to have in New York. So that played a factor. But either way, man, he's a great player, great scorer, 3-time gold medalist. Like I said, every time the Olympics came around, he showed out always making big time plays, big time shots. He's just a great player, man. Just a great player, and you see a lot of the players today, and when he was playing, giving him his flowers, deservedly so. And I think personally, listen. And then we said it at the top of the segment. If for the Knicks, it's just a contact, man. It's like, wow, like why wouldn't you, if it's accessible to you and he's willing, why wouldn't you ask him to help you with the face-up game? I remember seeing he was training with Julius when Julius first got here, first got to the Knicks. He was training with Julius a little bit in downtown Manhattan, which was good to see. RJ, I think, RJ could definitely use that because he's not someone that has elite athleticism. So you have to find other ways to create your own shot. And, using the face up, using the quick twitch, getting to the basket. I think I would capitalize on that. I would capitalize on that for sure. We see his son right now playing well. I think he's at Christ the King. He's looked like he's gonna be special, man. Him
Shout out to Cayenne.
I think him and Bryce are in the same class. So that class is gonna be wild for sure in a couple of years when they leap and go to college and or the NBA. So yeah, man, hell of a career, Hall of Famer for sure, and we'll see what's next for him, man. All right, we got one last topic that I added. Just happened to see on my phone. I was looking for it all week. This is want to get you guys talk. This is all NBA comparison. Throw up the share screen.
Hang on, just real quick. After this topic, I got another one. I definitely want to get y'all's thoughts on.
All right,
I need to get y'all's thoughts on.
All right, here we go.
I'm excited for us. Shared screen.
So this is for the All NBA.
Oh yeah, I saw this one. I see it.
Okay. This is for the All NBA. Who you picking in that one, man? To me, I feel like it's pretty easy, but
it's easy. It is not close. I mean, and look, no disrespect to the new guys. You know, these are all great players, but you talk about prime Shaq, prime Tim Duncan, prime Kobe, T-Mac with no Orlando T-Mac at that before the injuries, and then MVP KG. That's like a defensive clinic in my opinion. In my opinion, probably the most exciting matchup. This might be an underrated one, but I would love that Giannis KG matchup because KG is a defensive pest. You know, Giannis is the same way as well. Could KG possibly slow down Giannis from getting downhill, you know, making his way to the hole on the break? Who knows? But, you know, if you ask me, man, I feel like this is an easy answer. I got to go with 03.
What you got, CJ?
yes, it's just not even close. Shaq actually posted this on Instagram. He always
did, yeah.
Comparison stuff. This is just too easy. You know, T-Mac, Orlando T-Mac, like Nick says, is on another level. 62-point game that year. Kobe, Froby, my guy, man. Tim Duncan, KG, and Shaq.
He's locking Luka up, man. I'm sorry, he's locking Luka up.
Now, listen, like, you know, you could say the spacing may not be that, you know, that great, but this, you know, that was that era. You know, it wasn't really a lot of threes taken. But Giannis not a great 3-point shooter. Embiid is like 34%, 35%, and Luka, he takes a bunch of threes, but he's not a great 3-point shooter. He's not an efficient 3-point shooter at all. You guys can check shooting splits on that. Shea's solid, but he works more in the mid range. And Tatum's he's a solid. I think he's like 36%. So I'm going with 02, 03 easily. Just Shea on T-Mac, that's a tough night. Kobe guarding Luke. I mean,
locking him
Luka
up.
Luka can't guard Kobe. And you said the Embiid. I mean, you said the Giannis KG matchup. I'm looking at the Shaq and Embiid matchup, and based on how we saw Horford, you know, was getting to Embiid, barbecue chicken. That's barbecue chicken.
Especially, I mean, and this is Lakers Shaq too. This is Lakers Shaq, so
this is the three-peat. This is the
three-peat, yeah.
Shaq and Kobe, bro. It's curtains. It's curtains for Embiid, bro. So, but I think this is 02.
02, 03.
Tim Duncan won MVP. I think Tim Duncan won MVP this year.
Yeah, he did. Oh yeah, the Spurs. I think the Spurs won the championship this year too. 03. Yeah, it was 03. It was 03 that they won.
So this Spurs won it in odd years.
Yeah, so this was after the Lakers 3-peat, but still.
Yeah, Spurs won the chip. Yeah, I mean Spurs won the chip this year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Looking at the old school roster, I mean, they're phenomenal. But how are we going to have Tim Duncan playing the 3?
Bro,
I mean,
listen, it's a good point. You know,
but I mean, but who was like an elite 3 at that time? I mean, I guess you could possibly slide T-Mac in there and then put Kobe at the 2, and then add.
But it's forward center. It's not small. It's not small forward specifically. So.
I mean, I agree, but I just feel like that's Tim Duncan guarding Tatum. Are we comfortable with that matchup? Now, granted, the other matchups are toast, but I'm just saying, like,
Tatum can't guard Tim Duncan, so
I agree. And honestly, I'm going to say this: I think Embiid's actually more of a range. I would see Garnett guarding Embiid more than Shaq, and Shaq being on Giannis, because you just wait till he comes downhill into the paint and then you body him, and then Shaq's just like, no, that's not happening. But I think Garnett being able to be more versatile as far as deep 3-point line guarding and to the post with Embiid, I would like to see that matchup too, just to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm going old school. It's so weird to have Tim Duncan, who is a solid 4, being the 3 in the roster. But I agree. I understand you're going guard, forward, center.
Now, what you could do is you could slide T-Mac to the 3, add Kobe at the 2, and then probably put AI as the point guard. But
Or
I'll be
Jason
real,
Kidd.
I don't.
Let's go Jason Kidd.
No, you know, like I said, you know, like so, I get like Duncan and Garnett. They don't shoot threes, but they could shoot though. Like,
Yeah.
they had mid range. They had a
Mid-ranges,
shot.
yeah.
So that's spacing. Like it's not the 3-point spacing,
Right.
but it's still spacing. And if they played in today's era, they would shoot threes. So
Hey, and Shaq's hit a 3.
yeah, he's not Shaq. Everybody except Shaq will be shooting threes.
I mean, honestly, Tim Duncan hit that 1-3 to put them in
against Phoenix.
Against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Was it Phoenix? Yeah.
Whoever it was, but it was that last second. So, I mean, maybe if Tim Duncan had been in an era where they shot more threes, we wouldn't be having this hard conversation because we just didn't see him do it. But, I mean, he had range, like you said, 15 and out or in. He was a knockdown. So, I mean, who knows? Because, I mean, we've seen Dwight Howard go to China or wherever he's at, Taiwan, and hit 6 threes in a game now. So, maybe their bigs could shoot. It's just they never really shot much. Now, Shaq can't shoot even 15 at a free throw, so we're not going to go that far out. But, yeah, I mean, hands down, guys,
And honestly, people forget like this was the same year that Kobe had 9 straight 40-point games. So he was a killer offensively that year.
This backcourt is not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah, I guys. And look, no disrespect to the new guys.
Man, T-Mac is baking SGA. Kobe on
easily.
Sheesh. This is dunking on Dwight Kobe. This is not, post Shaq Kobe. This is
Kobe dunking on Yao. I don't know if y'all remember that one.
Yes, bro. So, bro, and Luka doesn't even play defense. It's curtains.
And B would definitely get a post from Kobe.
And Embiid, I can see Embiid settling for a lot of jump shots.
He ain't going to never Shaq.
He's not. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't see it, bro. So
even Embiid's going to get hurt first quarter. His pinky's going to break him down. He's going to be out the rest of the game.
even with the spacing, just because you have spacing doesn't mean you're going to make the shots. And they start missing all them threes and they crash in the glass. And with those two guys on the break, with Kobe and T-Mac on the break, it's over. It's over, bro.
Now,
so when people talk about the the errors, bro, what is this? This is in a 7-game. Oh, who you got a 7-game series? I missed the 7-game series spot. Gentleman sweep.
Sweet. Not even gentleman sweep.
Sweet.
4-0. Now, let me ask you this. Now let's take
I was being generous. I said maybe they could get one, but
nah. I don't see. Now, let's take Embiid out and possibly add Jokic. How do y'all think that matchup will be with him and Shaq?
It's a great matchup.
I don't think Jokic scores as much.
Shaq still yo. That jump
but Jokic can still get the assist.
Right. And that's why I was just saying I don't see him scoring as much. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see him getting nearly as many assists because I'm not doubling Jokic with Shaq. If Shaq's on him, I'm going to say, hey, you got him by yourself. Your physicality, you're the man of steel. He's not going to move you. So everyone can stay at home on their guys. So those help defense rotations and Jokic finding the open guy on the weak side 3 is not going to happen nearly as much because everyone's staying at home on their guys.
Dump it down to Shaq, one dribble, drop step, poster, right on Jokic, bro, all day.
All up in his face, comes down, just knocks him down.
Because I like that Jokic is incredible, but he's not a shot blocker, so it's not like it's not like a logical.
Man, Jokic would be so.
Jokic does have the the footwork. He does have the footwork. But so does Tim. So does KG. This is not even.
Jokic would be so fatigued guarding Shaq.
This is what I'm saying, man. So,
I don't know I don't know because Jokic was up and down the court in that fast pace against the sweep with the Lakers this year. I don't know if we can really.
Kobe, this is Shaq
but,
and Kobe.
I'm just saying fatigue. I don't know if I can actually say because the man must be in more shape than what we really think because
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah,
he's up and
definitely.
down. But
No.
so does this put it more in perspective of like when we say this guy's top 10 in today's era or today's games when we're looking at these five thinking this is a sweep?
I mean, these are just. I mean, those guys. Those are just better players, bro. That's just what it is. Like I'm looking at the top five. It's just there's not one player better on the second five. Not even one. And you got and two back-to-back MVP this year. I think Luka and Tatum will probably win an MVP in their career. So, but up here you got MVP, two-time MVP. It's like five-time champion, champion, four-time champion. It's not even.
And again, I know rings is not the argument, but the bottom, the today's era, that's one ring.
That's it.
That's just it. That's one ring.
That's it. And by this point, Duncan got one. Shaq and Kobe got three. So
that's 7 championships.
And then KG gets one.
Eventually,
T-Mac. And honestly, there was I don't know if you guys I'm sure you guys have heard that story of
Tim Duncan
almost going to the Magic.
Yeah. Yo, Doc Rivers again, dog. Fumbling the bag.
Nah, bro.
Because he wouldn't let his family travel. I mean, come on.
It got to be a little bit more than that. It got to be more than that. It got to be a little bit more. But if it's just because of that, that's a little whack. But either way, it still worked out for Tim at least because T-Mac ended up getting hurt. But man. Yeah, bro. I think people forget how great T-Mac was, man.
So
I was saying, like, Orlando T-Mac was by far the best T-Mac, easily.
Without question. Yeah, without question.
I don't know, that 12 points in like what 9 seconds or something like that. That was crazy with the Rockets. But yeah. So Shaq finished with what? 3 with the Lakers and 1 with
Miami
Heat. So he had 4. Kobe finished with 6.
5.
KG got 1. Well. Tim with 5. So at least randomly, I didn't pay attention on my
15 championships.
15. Okay. Do we think that bottom 5 gets 15 by the time they're done?
No, because again, I mean, you got to look at it. Shaq and Kobe were together, so it's like that plays a factor.
Okay, so let's take 3 out.
And then
how about 10? Do you think they get 10?
No.
Unless a couple of these guys played it again. Unless a few of them become teammates. No. I mean, bro, no one's just listen, man. No one's like I said, I know he never talked and he was kind of just to himself, from the Virgin Islands. Bro, Tim Duncan's different.
Mm-hmm. He's a killer.
It's
Wake Forest. Out of all colleges,
Wake Forest. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like from the VI, bro. Like not even like from the States. Just
he won a championship in what, like his second year? I think it was the second year.
Rookie.
Was it rookie?
He was with David Robinson too.
Swept the Knicks in '99. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Patrick Green didn't play, but he was hurt. Regardless.
Yeah.
Champion. Bro. This is crazy. And then Phil Jackson, I'm sure, is the head coach.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh no, maybe Pop because it's
Pop probably, yeah.
Either way.
And then for this year, it'll probably be Bud.
Bud?
Michael Malone.
Yeah, for this or Michael Malone, yeah.
So we know who winning that battle. And shout out to Malone. He might get his first chip this year, but. Yeah, man.
Good show.
This was you said Nick. You said you had one.
Oh yeah. So I wanted to get y'all's opinion on this, man. This NBA legend. It seems like he's always on the news or in the headlines for mostly the wrong reasons, and that's NBA legend Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen played next to the greatest player in NBA or in basketball history. That's just my opinion. He's not really too fond of him, and they're playing days and everything. So I guess Scotty had an interview the other day, and he was talking about the old days, and he kind of threw some shots at Michael, basically, talking about MJ before the two ended up playing together, before the Bulls ended up drafting Pippen. So I got the quote here. I got the quote here. He says, "Quote: I've seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. He was a horrible player. He was horrible to play with. He was all one-on-one. He was shooting bad shots, and all of a sudden we became a team and we started winning." I kind of agree with him a little bit on the one-on-one player, but to say he was a horrible player, that's crazy. Like the year prior to drafting Scottie Pippen, MJ averaged 37 a game on 48% shooting in an era where there's practically zero spacing, and the physicality was on another level. So that was kind of wild to me.
Title, that same
exactly.
86 was his breakout year.
Exactly.
He was horrible of a player.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, and again, I mean, he feels a way. My MJ's son is dating his ex-wife.
I wouldn't even bring that up.
But I think a lot has to do with that, bro. And he probably feel a way. I mean, I might feel a way too. It's damn, this is my road dog, MJ Pippen, Jordan Pippen, as everybody talks about. You telling me, his son wasn't at Pippen's crib and things like that growing up. Of course, it would not. Pippen to tell you they weren't that close. Maybe that's true.
I can see that.
It's man, you could have picked anybody. You know what I mean? Like Mark, he could have picked anybody. You picked Pippen ex-wife. It's just on both sides. She could have picked anybody. That's just it's weird. It's weird. It's so weird to me.
Have y'all heard the conspiracy that Michael Jordan went to his wife and said, "Hey, listen, I need to pay you so much money to get with Pippen, marry him, sleep with him so much where he can't perform in the games because he's so tired. And with you doing this, I'll give you my son." Nah, have y'all heard that conspiracy? I was like, come on, man. That's next level.
I never heard that. But I will say this, so I feel like a lot of this kind of stems from The Last Dance, so because Scotty wasn't really looked at in the best way in that whole documentary. I mean, obviously with the whole contract situation, and then of course what was it, 94 when he ended up sitting the bench on that during that series against the Knicks, I think one of the games. That's true. That is true.
Kuko's going to get the last shot. That's his fault.
That is true.
So, and then, but Jordan came out and said he's the best teammate I ever had. I don't win those championships without Scotty. He said all that in the documentary too. I guess he forgot that. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. It's just
the shadow. It's the shadow. Unfortunately, you don't say Pippen without saying Jordan first. And Pippen was a great player.
Scottie Pippen's top 50 all time. Easily.
I mean, he's a great player, but he's always in the shadow of Jordan. And he was just keeps trying to make cuts at Jordan to give him more respect as a player. But everybody gives him going to happen.
But basketball fans, they give him his respect. When Jordan sat out for those 2 years,
exactly.
They went to the conference finals.
Right.
They lost to the Magic. And then they lost to the Knicks. He gets his respect, bro. So I just don't get it. I don't understand the hate, bro. But again, maybe he's trying to sell something. I remember last time he was trying to sell a book.
Yeah.
Talking great. That's what these guys do. When they about to sell something, they'll tell you everything. They'll tell
controversial.
So they tell all the stories. Right? Yeah. Jordan's a horrible player. Go read my book. It's just.
Yeah, but I mean, it's to say he was a horrible player, though. You could have said that's what I'm saying. You could have said, "Oh, he didn't win anything before I got there." I mean, you could definitely make an argument there. But to say he was a horrible player, come on, man.
Yeah, bro. It took Jordan was 28 when he won his first championship. LeBron 27. It takes time. Man. Took Kobe. It took Shaq 4 years to win his first championship.
Took Tim Duncan 1.
Actually,
I think 8.
It took Shaq 7. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, he got dropped in 92. He won his first one in 99. So yeah, Tim Duncan. Yeah, he was blessed. He was blessed. That's a rare occurrence that happens. When you win a championship, Magic Johnson, same thing. You get Kareem your rookie year.
Yep.
That's crazy in itself.
Yeah, so and it wasn't like when Pippen got drafted, he was this all NBA guy. It took him a minute. He got drafted in '87.
Mm.
They didn't win their championship till '91. So it's like it's just sad. It's just sad, they're both 60, and they're still Jordan doesn't say anything publicly.
I'm about to say Jordan don't do nothing.
Because it's like, what's the point? I mean, what's the point? There's really nothing for him to say. He's never been a guy that come out and air out dirty laundry on anybody, really. Outside of The Last Dance, that's the most we've ever seen him talk in the last 30 years, because it was a documentary about him. But even with the Hornets, like you see Mark Cuban and all these guys, all these owners, they talk. He never says nothing. Now he just doesn't say anything. So it's just sad, bro. It's really just sad.
Excuse me.
I felt like if it was really a problem, you could hit up Mike and be like, "Yo, this is how I feel. This and that." But
and then they'd play 1-on-1, and Mike would beat him and be like, "All right, it's done now." Right?
Whatever it takes, And it's like, for now to, you guys touching you in your 60s. So it's like
old men.
When everybody talks about Jordan Pippen now, you talk about the glory years, but now we're gonna talk about this too.
Exactly.
And then he's just being a troll. LeBron's the greatest player. I mean, because he's gonna say that. Of course, he's gonna say now. It makes the LeBron fans gonna be like.
But that's the thing, because
look at Jordan's best teammate. Look what he's saying. It's just.
He even changed his mind on that too. It's like every other year. Like 1 year he thinks LeBron's the GOAT. The next year he thinks MJ's the GOAT. And it's like, come on, man. Get everything together. Like my whole thing is at least show some gratitude. Y'all won 6 championships together. And look, y'all may have not been friends off the court. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. We see it all the time. Shaq and Kobe were not friends off the court. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, y'all still were able to come together and still, do some amazing stuff. So that's just my thing is just show gratitude. Y'all were able to dominate. Y'all were one of the greatest teams to ever play in NBA history, and just leave it at that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's the pettiness. The pettiness at 60 is wild. That's wild to me.
It's nasty, yo.
I could never be 60 and petty. It's crazy.
Especially it's been over 20 plus years, almost 30 years, and you're still holding on to those grudges.
It's been almost 30 years, bro.
Pip, come on, man, get it together.
Get it together. But all right, that wraps up the show. MNC Hoops. Michael, Nick, tell the people where to find you.
I don't care where you find me. Just go find MNC Hoops at anything. You can go to the Linktree, MNC Hoops on that. Linktree/MNC Hoops. You'll find all of our links to everything. Go subscribe to our over 100 subscription followers on YouTube. We appreciate that. Keep that rolling. Go find us on Twitter, Instagram as well. Guys, we're everywhere, and that's all I really care about if you find that, because you'll find me there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First and foremost, appreciate everybody tuning in. Shout out to SeatGeek, man. Definitely appreciate the opportunity. Use code MNC Hoops. Get $20 off of your first purchase, whatever event you want to go see. Basketball, soccer, baseball, concert, whatever it is, man. Definitely, man. But first and foremost, follow us on all platforms at MSC Hoops. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube as well. Give us 5-star reviews on whatever podcast platform you use, Apple, Spotify, whatever it is. I think that we are deserving of that. As for myself, follow me on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, at Nick Andre ATR. Then check out my Linktree as well. You'll see everything from podcasts, articles, you name it.
Sir, CJames9 _ on Twitter. Again, MNC Hoops everywhere. Make sure to look out for us. Shout out SeatGeek again for the sponsorship. Great things coming for sure. Make sure you use that code. Just like Nick said, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys next week.
Hopefully we'll be back on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Guys, have a good one.
Deuces.